Hey, 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 my friend. Welcome back. This week in Sidereal Astrology, whoo, my friend, we have got some transits to talk about. We've got, not only did we just move into Pisces season, we had our eclipse season happening this month. We have had the planetary alignment going on, but we have two of our outer planets that are shifting signs. And so in this video, we're going to talk about all the changes that are happening. We've got our upcoming new moon. We've got Saturn changing signs. We had Uranus changing signs. So, my friends, we're getting into all of it today in this week's Sidereal Astrology forecast. So, welcome, my friend. Welcome back. My name is Danny Simunis. We here on the channel Cosmic Mystic, we blend strategy and soul work to help healers, coaches, conscious leaders build their soul aligned businesses that fully support their soul's mission. So, if we have not met, I am your inner work alchemist and creator of the sacred CEO framework that is designed to help you stay centered, aligned, and abundant as you expand your impact. For over 12 years, I've supported hundreds of conscious leaders in doing the deep soul work, my friend, beyond the mindset, the work that is required to embody your highest expression and lead with confidence. I am excited to bring this sidereal astrology forecast for you. So let's talk about my favorite thing, and that is the state of the planets. Yes, my friend, it is my favorite thing to do. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And so if you're like, wait, what? Share my screen? Danny, I'm listening to this on a podcast. Yes, my friend, we do have a podcast and we have a YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is The Cosmic Mystic. The podcast is The Cosmic Mystic Podcast. So if you are listening to us, you can come on over and see the charts over on the YouTube channel. There'll be a link down in the show notes for you. And if you're on the YouTube channel and you're like, wait, there's a podcast too. Yes, there is a podcast, and you can listen to this forecast in its audio version. If you just want to take me on your drive, on your walk, or while you're doing work or errands around the house, or whatever that might be that you're due while you listen to this forecast. If you want more, there is also tons of episodes over on the Cosmic Mystic podcast. We just hit 100 episodes. We are moving into the next 100, and I've got lots that are coming up on the podcast and the YouTube channel as well. So connect with us here. I'll make sure there's links in all the places so you can get to all the things. All right. So, state of the planets, my favorite thing to do. And that is to share with you where everybody is as we kick off this new week. So, as you can see at the 24th here, we've got our lineup of planets, right? The planets that are asking us for alignment. We kick off with Chiron still here in Pisces at 27 degrees, Mercury in its retrograde in Pisces. We've got the sun at 10 degrees Pisces. We've got Venus in retrograde in Pisces. And we can see that these guys right here, these three are all conjunct. We can also see Neptune at 5 degrees Pisces, conjunct Venus there. We've got the North Node at 3 degrees Pisces, and we've got Saturn at 29 degrees Aquarius, and we'll be moving into Pisces later on this coming week. So, we've also got our Pluto over here in Capricorn. We've got our moon kicking off this week in Capricorn. We've got down here our South Node in Virgo, Mars in Gemini, Jupiter still hanging out in Taurus for a little bit longer. And as you can see here, Uranus did move into Taurus. It moved over on the 18th. And so we're just starting to feel Uranus ground into that Tauran energy. So we're going to talk about all of that and more because you know your girl loves to talk. So let's dive in with our first planet. We're going to talk about the sun. So we've been talking about these lineups that have been happening here with the sun. We've got Mercury conjunct the sun. We've also got Venus conjunct the sun, and we've got Neptune conjunct the sun. But what I want to bring in here, and we're going to come, this is coming up here on Wednesday. Wow, I went all the way till April. So I was like, wait, that's not right. But I was like trusting it for a second. Right, here we go. Sunday, the 30th. There you go. At the edge of the week here on the 30th, the sun will make a sextile over here to Jupiter in March. We're making sure we have all the right dates here. And this sextile will be in place for about till the 12th of April. So we've got about 13, 14 days, about a couple of weeks here. And so what does this bring? This brings optimism. This brings good luck, joy, happiness. This is that time where you're like, let me go for the stars. I want to go big, go home. Starting new projects is always good because we've got the benefit of the Jupiter energy, which is optimistic growth, expansion, wanting to do all the things. Now, there's a lot of generosity and a lot of hope and a lot of joy that comes with Jupiter. The flip side of this, though, is that because Jupiter wants to grow and expand and do all the things, we might be growing and expanding and doing all the things. We might be taking on too much. We might be filling up our calendars or our schedules with a whole lot of things. And when we look at that Pisces energy asks us to actually just slow down a little bit, to take it easy and to chill out. And so there could be a little bit here of like, I'm wanting to do all the things and not actually taking the time to do what you need to do for yourself. So this is a really great positive energy. However, it also can kind of put a little bit of us wanting to overdo. And so I just want you to be cautious of that. All right, we're going to come up because we've also got our new moon right here. You can see the moon is conjunct the sun. So we have this on the 29th, and it's going to be early in the morning, 5:57 a.m. here Central Time. We've got the conjunction of our moon, which is making a sextile over here to Pluto. So let's talk about what this lunar eclipse, because it is a partial lunar eclipse in Pisces, is all about. Because my friend, as we have been talking about this Pisces energy now for a bit here, we are talking a lot about these endings that are coming forward for us, right? With Pisces, and the new moon is that new cycle that is beginning. So there's this new cycle within the Pisces energy that is coming in. We've also got the sextile to Pluto, which really brings up those deep buried emotions. And because we're talking about that sun involvement here, this is bringing things to the surface. This is bringing things into our awareness. So if you start to come across some interactions that are bringing up some buried things, some things that maybe have been put down or pushed down, or maybe you haven't dealt with yet, or maybe you have done some healing around them, but they're getting triggered from a different way now. This could definitely be something that happens. This is a time for us to rethink some of the areas of our life, like the habits or the addictions that we have, because there's a lot of subconscious energy here with Pisces and the deeper kind of insights with Scorpio ruled by Pluto. We can have a lot of this coming through for us. And so This is a time that symbolically we can say is cleaning house, both literally and metaphorically, as we are entering spring here. But we are also most really kind of cleaning things up, doing that psychological work, that deep work. I actually have just opened some sessions in April to offer that deeper work for y'all because I know everybody is in need of this work right now, where we're really getting below the surface, beyond the mindset, and down into the deeper soul work to really bring forward some of the things that may be challenging you. Because, my friend, the reason why that strategy isn't working, not because it's not a good strategy, not because it's not the right strategy. It's probably because of something that is deeper within your psyche. So, the last thing I'm going to say here is your intuition is extremely heightened with Pisces season, right? With Pluto, though, it brings this investigative and really introspective energy. And so, this is really why we're able to kind of be guided into the belly, right? And to the underneath, the aspects of life that are hidden from us. And so there could be some of these things that are coming up, my friend. And so this one can be a little bit intense. We thought the total solar eclipse was intense. Well, this lunar eclipse is also going to be intense, but in just a slightly different way. So, again, my friend, this is an opportunity for us, as always, to do some deeper cleaning, cleaning of the mental and the soul and the energy. All right, let's talk about our where our moon's going to be this week. So, as I mentioned, kicking off this week, it is in the energy here of Capricorn. We can see it over here beginning in Capricorn, and we're going to see that energy all the way through till early morning on Wednesday. And so, Capricorn is a very grounded energy. It's an earth sign. It's really about getting organized, getting things set, making a plan, that vision for the goal. So anything around the beginning of this week that you're looking at, like, okay, this would be a really good time actually to look at your past month or look at this past cycle and to look at planning and organizing for the next cycle or for the next month. So this would be really good time to kind of take some time to do that. Now, come Wednesday, it's going to move into Aquarius, and it'll be in Aquarius from Wednesday through Friday here, Friday morning, early morning. And Aquarius is an air sign. It's a very logical, intellectual sign. And so there's a lot of knowledge that comes through with Aquarius wanting to seek knowledge, wanting to share knowledge, really getting analytical about things can definitely come into play here. So if there's anything that you need to work on where you need to really bring in that logic or you need to bring in that more analytical mind, like reviewing analytics for the past month, something I'm not a fan of doing, but is important to do, right? That bringing that analytical mind, that would be a good time to do it during the moon is transiting through Aquarius. It's also a really good time to do quick things, wrapping things up. Research is really good, especially for Aquarius, doing that research and figuring something out or discovering something or diving into something, brainstorming new ideas, thinking outside of the box. That is also really good to do with Aquarius because we're more so thinking in our logical mind and thinking new ways of doing something. So if you've been stuck in something and you need a new way to do it, this would be a really good time to approach that. And then the moon here will move into Pisces, and it'll prepare for that new moon energy coming in on the 29th. And then we've got it moving through the 30th here, which would be Sunday, so early Sunday. And then the later half of the day, it will move into Aries. And so Aries is a fire sign, it is that action oriented sign. So I'm going to recommend that over that weekend, so Friday, Saturday, definitely take some time to slow down, to take care of yourself, to fill fill your cup in whatever way that is for you, so that after we move out of that Pisces energy, that water sign, that we've got our cups full and we're ready to go with Aries as we kick off that new week and new month. All right, let's take a look at Mercury and what Mercury is up to this week. As I mentioned, Mercury is retrograde, but there are a few transits that are happening this week. And do want to point out, and so first off, do want to remind you that not that one, not that one. There we go. Mercury, let's click. Oh, it's because I already clicked on Mercury. Mercury is conjunct Neptune. We saw that from last week. And so a lot of the thinking on these new the new the mist was not the new, but like that the mysteries, the occult, the secrets, things coming out. This is still going to happen all the way through April. So there's a lot of things that are being revealed right now that have been maybe shoved under the rug for quite a while, and they're now coming out and being exposed. That is definitely happening right now. We've also got Mercury sextile Uranus, and a Mercury conjunct Saturn coming in here on the 29th. So let's come on over here to the 29th, and we're going to see those two starting to take place. So let's talk about this Uranus here. We've got Mercury sextile the Uranus planet Uranus. So Mercury and Uranus, in a sextile is a very friendly sign, I'm sorry, transit, and it's because they're very complementary. And so Uranus brings that stimulation, that excitedness, this newness, this, fresh kind of perspective. So you might find that the things that have been pretty common for you are wanting to take a new direction, or you're wanting to try something new. You might even meet new people or try new things. This is a very social, much more social energy. Your intuition be a little bit more heightened here. There's a lot of future oriented thinking, being able to look at things differently or see different viewpoints is also really good here. So some mediation would also be really good during this time. And so this is the 29th through April 17th. Now, the next one that we have here is with Saturn. And so Saturn is going to be shifting into Pisces on the 29th. And so when it makes its shift, you can saw that it popped right in here, right around 2 o'clock in the afternoon Central Time. And it's coming into its beginning of its conjunction with Mercury. So Saturn is what's often called the daddy, the authoritative energy. And it is with Mercury, we find it bringing in more focus and more critical thinking, and which I love here, because sometimes we really need to focus in on things, or we need to handle the serious things, right? The one aspect of this that can get really challenging is the critical thinking. So critical thinking skills is great, right? But critical thinking in the way of the doubt, the fear, the I'm not good enough, like all of that type of energy can definitely come into play here. Mental ruts can also happen. We want to make sure that we're staying out of dwelling on the negative or hitting on the negative idea, or there could be some coldness or isolation that is wanting to happen as like, right, I'm not wanting to deal with this. And so there could be some coldness or isolation that starts to happen here, which doesn't serve communication well, and also doesn't serve relationships well. The best way to kind of use this would be patience, really taking time to look at a more detailed plan, long-term planning, doing like the paperwork or the responsible tasks that we need to do. This is also a really good transit for mentoring or offering wisdom to somebody, having conversations with people who are either elderly or older than us that can guide us or mentor us, or those that are in authority positions. They can also, or we can also do that for others. And this transit is going to be all the way through April 18th. And so we'll see this energy really play out much more in the next coming month. All right. The last one I did want to talk about that I forgot to mention earlier was Mercury and Mars. And so this is coming in on the 31st. So it's going to hit into next week. But I did want to touch on it really quick, just to kind of give you some insights of what's coming, because this is a much longer transit as well. So Mercury and Mars gives us more quick thinking, more mental acuity. This is good for debating, negotiations, having really intellectual conversations. This is where we blend the mental and the physical energy together. Making quick decisions or acting on them swiftly or quickly is also really good. So if this is something that you're looking to start something new or implement a new idea or implement a new belief, this is also really good of being able to have that new belief and take off with it, right? Problem solving, really good as well. Productive tasks, mental effort, things where you're needing some mental effort is also really good here too. It's like I gotta take some time with this, or I gotta really chew on this. Those types of ideas. Mars is really good for helping move through those really easy. Also, a lot of confidence in the communication area as well, feeling really confident about speaking or sharing or your perspective on things. So, if you're looking to do more speaking and really put yourself out there in that way, this is a good time. All right, next up we have Venus. So let's come on over to Venus and let's tell you a little bit about what she's got going on here. First, on the 27th, we can see Venus has got this sextile over here to Uranus. Now, remember, these are all happening because these are planets are all together, right? They're conjunct. And so they're all making these connections. Some of the slower planets, though, like Venus is much slower than Mercury. It is going to be a little bit longer. So, with Venus and Uranus, we're going to see this transit from the 27th of March all the way through the 5th of May. So, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, we're going to see Venus and sextile Uranus. So what is that? What is goes on here? Well, just like it did with the Mercury, it's bringing new, fresh energy, new excitement, new ways of thinking, new ways of doing. But it's doing this in the area of our relationships and our finances and what we value or our own value. And so there's the excitement of a potential new relationship, of potential new business opportunity. There's this really like unexpected windfalls are pretty common during this time. It's like all of a sudden it's like, whoa, where did that come from? Yes, more please. An increased desire for entertainment, creativity, just doing things that are different and original. You might be even looking for like something to do that's outside of the box, right? Because Venus is very social energy as well. So it could even be that you might see your personal style wanting to change and shift things up. There might be deeper in your relationships, maybe some deeper connections coming through that because you're bringing in this new energy. So it's like we're like this fresh energy happening around you, which I'm super excited about with Venus here because there's a lot of new connection energy that tends to happen with Venus and Uranus together. All right. Let's talk about the two biggies right here, and that is Uranus and Saturn. So, we talked about how Uranus is going to be moving into, or it has already moved into Taurus. So what does that mean? Because it's going to be there for 7 years, actually 7 plus years, because it'll be a little bit over 7 years. And whenever Uranus changes signs, it makes a very big impact because it is hitting us collectively and it is a long term transit. So we're seeing, like we saw Uranus in Gemini. I'm sorry, Uranus in Aries just making so much in the past. If you look at a lot of the changes that have happened in the past 7 years, right? So we're going back to 2018. What was happening for you in 2018 versus where you are now? What has happened in the past 7 years? And collectively, as a society, what has happened in the past? There's been tons of changes in the past 7 years that have been quick and swift and sometimes like whoa, right? Where did that come from? And it's out of the box and it's different and it's new, right? Because that's Uranus, but it happened really, really fast. Now the good thing or not so good thing, we could look at it either way. Uranus moving into Taurus is going to slow things down, and it's really going to hit in the area of money, of communication, of land, of let me see what else, security and stability. So banking, social security, land ownership, how we are relating to money or to currency, what material security looks like, that is all going to be disrupted. There is change coming, my friend. There is innovation coming, my friend. So understand that these are some pretty big shifts, right? Um, this is, it might not all seem that it's beneficial. Um, there's going to be a bit of a battle here between true innovation and just disruption for disruption's sake. I want you to consider this. We always want to look beyond what is being presented to us. And I am not a chess player, although I probably would be pretty good. What happens is sometimes we see changes happen or we see things that are happening. And especially with Uranus and Taurus here, there's going to be some more disruption. And it's going to hit us more on a personal level than maybe it has with Aries, although it definitely happened with Aries. But these are coming into some of our systems that haven't really changed for a very long time. And so I want you to consider that changes that are happening, the moves that are being made, they are we're playing chess. We're not necessarily playing checkers, right? And so we want to consider that when we're looking at what's happening, are we making moves as a chess player? Are we looking 3 steps ahead? Are we looking at, well, if this happens, well, what about this? And what about this? And what about this? We're taking it all in. And we're not just looking at the first step ahead of us, that we're actually looking at the overall. We're looking at the bigger picture, right? And so that's where we can come into that eagle view and take a look and say, this might be happening right now that feels very destructive. And it doesn't feel like it's being innovated. It just feels like it's just disruption for mere disruption. What could it possibly be? What could be a bigger picture here that is at play? Taurus does rule over agriculture, nature, and physical resources. So there's a bit of an awakening, right? How we cultivate and protect our planet's resources. We're definitely going to see some changes in that, in the way that is moving. And my friend, like, these things are going to hit us on a day-to-day basis. This is going to dismantle some of our outdated beliefs, pushing us to embrace our personal growth, our self-discovery, and forcing us to operate in the world differently. Not to say that that is good or bad, but that is forcing us in many ways to operate differently. And so change is inevitable. Change happens. The nature can show us that change is always happening. We want to go with um, change that is fluid for us. We want to confront those fears, that stagnation, that outdated attachments, and really liberate ourselves. Because we can't control what the outside is doing. We can only control what is here. That is the only thing we can control, my friend. And so, if you are going to be in the ages of 14, 21, 28, 42, 56, 64, 70, and 84, these, especially in this next 7 years, if you're going to hit any of those ages, this is going to push you on a deeper level of self awareness and reinvention. So, my friend, if you've got a 7-year-old, that is moving into becoming a 14-year-old in the next 7 years, obviously that is going to be a change. But the way in which their world, it's not like ours. It wasn't like our world and how we grew up. It is quite different, and it's going to be even more as we move even further into this. All right, let's talk about Daddy Saturn, because Daddy Saturn is also changing signs, and Daddy Saturn changes signs every 2 to 3 years, or 2.5 years. It just depends on its cycle of retrograde. So Saturn has been in Aquarius, and we have definitely seen that energy with Uranus being in Aries and Saturn being in Aquarius. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, so very much that electric, exciting shifts of change has definitely been very much infiltrating the core foundations of not only our country here in the US, but in many, many ways, our society, our culture, right? As humans here on Earth, right? And so with Saturn moving into Pisces, we're shifting from a very, radical sign that changes things, that rebels against things, that is about social justice. And in those areas of big corporation, government, the foundations of things. So that core foundation, and it's shifting into Pisces, which is redefining boundaries, redefining social structures, really leaning into the intuition. And so Saturn, who tends to be the planet of limits and structures, as he moves through Pisces, there's going to be more fluidity and intuition at the forefront. And so there's going to be a bit of a push and a pull between enforcing boundaries and allowing openness. Do we see that already? Enforcing boundaries and allowing openness. While Pisces encourages us to trust and to imagine, Saturn's what's real, what's realistic, and what's practical. So, this transit, these next 3 years, is teaching us to balance compassion with critical thinking and to avoid getting lost in illusion or manipulation. And that is going to be the key sign here for us as we move through the next 3 years, is not getting lost, because it can be really, really easy for us to get lost over the next 3 years, because Neptune really makes things really foggy and really hard to see. I say Neptune because Pisces is ruled by the planet Neptune. So after years, a few years here of it being in Capricorn and then moving into Aquarius within traditional astrology, we have Aquarius ruling over Saturn, which I don't necessarily agree with, but it has operated really at its full power and its full strength. Now, this transition moving into Pisces, it is not as strong as it has been. And so we're going to see more intuitive structures start to take place in society. We're already seeing it. We've been seeing it over the past few years slowly start to come in, but this is really going to start to implement this. Now, I've been saying this for a while now, but there is definitely the woo, the spirituality, the bringing more of these ideas, this energy work and this healing on a soul level or a holistic level is definitely going to be coming in even more in the next couple of years. So we saw a lot of the last time that Saturn was in Pisces, there were a lot of global shifts, major global shifts. There were a lot of treaties that were signed. There were a lot of trade agreements that were made and dissolved. There was a lot of cultural movements that blended hope and the harsh realities of what was happening. We saw themes of restructuring, social transformation. And so I definitely feel like there's a lot of this about to come in to play over the next few years because lines are getting a little blurry here. Things are idealized, there's illusions that are happening. Just one word that I want you to be very mindful of is the illusion. Learning to think for yourself, learning to be critical, like a critical thinker, is huge. Now, I don't know if school necessarily taught us to be critical thinkers. I think I had teachers that were really good at helping me with that, but it wasn't something that I feel as if was amplified as much as it could have been. And so it can be a challenge sometimes to have critical thinking. And so that is just something I'm going to invite you to step more and more into as we move into this time that can be a little bit more illusioned for us, is to really put on that critical thinking hat and not just take what you're seeing and trust what you are feeling. Trust what like look beyond the veil. That's one of the things that Pisces can allow us to do, is to look beyond the veil. So dream exploration, deep introspection, really working with your intuitive guidance is really going to be part of this next cycle here. So some of the things that you can do to work with this is strengthen your own boundaries. So boundaries, to me, I'd like to use the idea of a door, the door to your house. Do you keep that door open and let anything and everything in? I would assume not so, right? It's probably closed. And in many cases, it is probably locked. Nobody can come in, right? There's something they have to do in order to get into your house, right? They have to knock, they have to ring the doorbell, or in these days, they text you or call you, right? To let you know that they're there. So this is a boundary. It is you saying, here's what I'm doing, and here's how we can interact together. The other thing I would say is trust your intuition, your gut instincts. And so if you feel like your intuition is not on point, or maybe it has led you astray. I've heard that as well. My intuition has led me astray. Maybe you're not confident in your intuition. You want to deepen that. There could be some beliefs, there could be some entities that could be blocking that. And so that is something definitely that I would recommend doing some deeper work and learning how to trust your intuition more. A commitment to deeper self reflection and deeper self mastery and understanding. It's one of the reasons why I do the work that I do. And I'm excited for this era because we're about to move deeper into that. So, practices like journaling, somatic breath work, meditations, these can all help you navigate some of the things that Saturn is going to be bringing up collectively, but also personally. The personal things that, our own boundaries, the blurring of our own boundaries, the blurring of the illusions that we might be under in certain ways in our life. The other thing is change. Saturn, he is a mutable sign. He is flexible and adaptable and can navigate uncertainty. And so allow yourself to move through this. Move through these changes, move through, be flexible and adaptable, moving through. It's going to challenge us to find stability in the fluidity, in the change. Discern from the illusion, my friend, and lead with love, lead with love, lead with compassion to all of the structures that will be changing and evolving over the next couple of years. My friend, this has been our Sidereal Astrology forecast for the week of March 24th. My friend, we are entering the new era here with Saturn, with Uranus. Big changes here with that planetary alignment, our eclipse season. There is a lot going on. And so if you are wanting more support, if you're looking for more support this year, then I would love to have you come join us in Sacred CEO. I would love to be your guide this year in doing that personal work and that deep soul work. So, Sacred CEO is a 12-month program designed to help you step fully into your potential as a spiritual entrepreneur. It is the program for those that are ready to align with their soul's mission, lead a purpose driven, soul centered business that flows with ease, balance, and confidence. So, if you're tired of that hustle mentality, if you're tired of doing all the things and not actually making the progress, then I want to teach you how to honor your own rhythm, your own purpose here in a sacred space. So, in the program, we gain clarity on your business vision and how to bring it to life. We align with your inner guidance system so you can learn to trust your intuition and really make powerful decisions that are for you in how you are building your business, how you are leading your life. We release those limiting beliefs, the energetic blocks around doing the thing, being the person, money, and relationships. We learn how to cultivate a balanced flow between the masculine and the feminine so that both are in our life and in our business because they both matter. We create consistent, sustainable income and attract ideal clients that feel authentic to you. We establish a clear action plan every single quarter, every single month, so that you are making sure that you are aligning with the seasons, that you are taking action towards your soul's purpose. We've got ongoing support from me, from other spiritual leaders and entrepreneurs in the group. My friend, if you're ready to step into the CEO of your life with confidence and are empowered to lead from your intuition, then my friend, I'd love to invite you into Sacred CEO. With that, you can find the link to learn more about Sacred CEO down in the description box in the comments below. I would love, love, love to be your guide, my friend. My friend, that is it for us today. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great week. And until next time, keep shining your unique light.